Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 66. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, it's Sunday, brother. I'm excited. I always love Sunday.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually excited. Well, I'm a little excited slash sad. I had a friend come visit from Florida, and he's downstairs watching the beginning of the show, and then he's going to take off to back to Denver, where his family is right now. So, but yeah, that's
Ooh,
pretty cool.
Roots living life in the fast lane, bringing in people from Florida, man. Don't you know that's how you catch it?
Oh yeah, we can't say what it is, but yeah, no, he seemed fine. I mean, I took his temperature, and no, just kidding. Um, there are people that they would say, hey man, I'm glad you came to visit, but keep your distance. You're 6 feet, but I gave him a hug. He's my friend. So, but hey, there he
Well,
is. What's up? What's up, Will? But yeah, anyway, it's pretty cool.
love cures all, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh, Roots, I kind of feel like our honor is being attacked. Do you feel it?
Yeah, dude. Now that you think about it, like I feel like somebody came out, took out the gloves, slapped me across the face, and said, "Let's duel." And the virtual strangers are up to that duel. I don't know that we'll win, but yeah, I feel like my honor has been questioned a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like we need to defend it. So those of you who didn't catch the show live last week, our good friends from Rendered Reality, which I think they're in the chat again today, they were in the chat last week and they started talking about contractors, and I just kind of tongue in cheek threw it out there that if it ever came to it, that the Virtual Strangers crew would thoroughly thrash them no matter what the rule set is in contractors. And, I said this fully knowing that half of our Discord is like me, who've played the game like 3 total times ever. But I mean, it's online multiplayer. So what do? You talk trash, right? Anyway, a few days go by and these guys come into the Discord and say, when's it going to happen? When's it going down? And I feel like it's a call to arms, Roots. I feel like your honor has been challenged. I feel like mine has been challenged. Scion, Radio Run, Overgees, everyone who's been playing on there while I've been busy doing something else. I feel like we're being called to arms. And I don't know about you, but I feel like it's time to answer that call.
Yeah, we're gonna do it on Tuesday, I think. Which sounds good. Give me some time to re-download all the mods because I don't know if anybody else is having issues or not. Last week I was having spiked FPS all over the place, and I ended up bowing out of playing with rendered reality that day. And Scion was having the same problems, and he luckily went through it and told me that I had to delete all of my mods and start over because there was some kind of a weirdness. I don't know. So I started that yesterday, Wes, but I only got like 4 downloaded because you have to be in game. That's one of the things they need to fix. I need to be able to go in like in Pavlov. I go to the community page on Steam and I can download all of them from there. I don't have to go in game, and it's just such an inconvenience. It sounds stupid, but like if we went into contractors right now, because of the way they're doing the mods and the downloads, I'm not ready. I can't do it. I have to go sit in there and have my game be idle for an hour just to download the mods, and that's just not good.
Yeah, I haven't actually tried to play Contractors in like a month. I think they've updated the game 4 or 5 times since I played it. So do you think that before I even attempt to go in there and brush up on the controls, that I probably should just delete all the custom stuff and re-download it?
I would. I mean, I guess it depends because I don't know if you have that glitch. It's just such, it was the frames were all over the place, and I couldn't deal with it. So, and there's so many mods. I mean, in my opinion, if you're gonna play Contractors, you have to download the mods, the maps. Like that's what's good about it. The ability. I mean, you could jump, I guess, without that. I just think the base game is okay, but with the mods, it makes it an amazing game.
Okay, so we'll do. VR Spry Guy says, I feel like Virtual Strangers is in trouble.
Oh.
LOL. Dude, we're like the Spartans, right? The 300. And we have the masses of Roman legions surrounding us. Are you going to lay down?
No,
I'm not.
I'm
going to
not
fight.
laying down, but I guarantee I'm going to be seeing a lot of you died, and I'm going to look over and then I'm gonna see rendered reality smiling and waving at Roots as he's laying on the ground dead. But no, it's definitely, in my opinion, it's one of the better, or if not the best, shooter right now in VR, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. And in all seriousness, it's going to be a good time, right? It always is when we go into contractors. And if any of you out there are interested in participating, again, don't feel shy. I know a lot of people shy away from VR multiplayer because they suck at it. Well, guess what? I kind of suck at it too. So we can suck together. Uh, you know who else likes this? Never mind. Uh, anyway, all you have
she
all
still
you
came
have to
out.
do right. Anyway, all you have to do is scroll down to the description. You'll see an invitation to our Discord down there. Preliminary timetable Tuesday. A few of us have said, Tuesday's cool. A few of us haven't yet to remark on it. So as of right now, we're shooting for Tuesday. And again, all you got to do is just join that Discord, and you'll see the multiplayer channel on there. And just go on there and say, "Hey, I'm down to play as well," and we'll all link up and blow each other's brains out.
Yeah, Slay, I would download all the mods. He asked if he needs to download them all, just because there's only like 25 of them or something. But you never know who, what the host is gonna pick, and there's just so many good Call of Duty, World War II mod, or I guess World War II, Modern Warfare 2 maps on there. So
Rendered Reality says we may have to do this on a couple of occasions. Maybe we could set it up to benefit a charity somehow at some point. I have no idea how to do anything like that, but I'm always up to help people. If I can play VR and help out someone less fortunate, sounds like a win-win to me.
yeah, Phil Yarn says he's hoping his indexes came by then. I'm jealous, Phil Yarn. I want my index. I haven't ordered it or paid for it, but I'm still waiting for it to show up on the front door.
Yeah, I understand. I'm waiting on my G2, which is going to be months off. 2 months at the very least. But I get it. I feel, every time I've been in contractors with you guys, I've felt the disadvantage of those 72 hertz. If I only had those 8 more hertz, and in the case of the G2, 18 more hertz, I feel like I really could have made a difference. But I'll fight with one hand tied behind my back. It's cool.
Talking about playing with one hand tied behind your back. There's somebody that plays in our games that plays with one eye tied behind their back, and he still rocks it, which is crazy. But that's weird.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. I guess whatever it takes to make the game entertaining, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Rendered Reality said, "Who all pre-ordered Reverb G2?" Right here, dude. Sebastian convinced me, and actually, I was convinced beforehand. I went ahead and ordered before the day before his video because I knew people from all over the world were going to be ordering after his review, and I said, if something sucks about it, I'll just cancel my pre-order. But when he did his review, and it was even better than I expected it to be or I'd hoped for. So I've went from being mildly optimistic to being legit super hyped for my new hardware when it gets here.
You want to be bummed out, Wes? Phil Yarn saw the FedEx guy miss the delivery yesterday. He didn't hear the doorbell, saw the guy drive away with his index. Can you imagine?
Oh no. I've actually chased the FedEx guy down before whenever they've failed to leave something because they wait all of 10 seconds on my doorstep. So there is that option. You can run them down. They will, as long as you show them ID, they will give you your package.
Oh wow. No, I just sit there and watch the door like a hawk. I don't miss that doorbell, dude. I'm there. I got my index. Well, I would. If I was you, Phil Yarn, I would have my index. That sounds bad.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do, right? These are important things. It's a responsibility, and when you need something, it's a responsibility.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not only that, Phil Yarn. I found out recently, Domino's, they say they're going to do a contactless delivery. That's the only way they'll do it. But if you don't tip on your credit card, they will ring the doorbell and make you sign that thing and then try to get you to tip them. And I'm like, what is the point of this? Because I didn't care if he came to my door or not. Very bizarre. So
it's a new world, Roots.
yeah.
Topsy-turvy world, I like to call it.
World. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, the chat filling out nicely. Phil Yarn, Scion, hard to get. Rendered Reality. PD, what's up, PD? Let's see here. I lost my spot. Slaveways. And looks like Mepper's in the house. What's up, Mark? And Greg's VR. Anyway, Roy Schwartz. Hey, buddy, what's up? Let's say we talk about some VR news. We're rather some not so VR news, because we just found out a couple of days ago that the Superhot team is bringing an all new, brand new standalone experience called Mind Control Delete. Now, this is a standalone game set in the world of Superhot, and it's set to come to PC and console on July 16th. And get this, Roots, it is free to all owners of the base game before that day. So if you wait until the 16th or after to buy Superhot, you're not going to get it for free. But for everyone who has purchased it up until now, and let's face it, we've all purchased Superhot up until now, it's absolutely free. Excitement, right, Roots? We've been waiting on something from the Superhot guys, right? Forever. Finally, it's come, right?
Yeah, it's excitement. But I could have sworn when I read the wording, it said if you have the base game of the non-VR, or maybe I'm adding that, but I could have sworn the way I read it was like it was the flat version got this for free. Or am I reading that wrong?
No, you're absolutely reading it right. When I first read this, I read it on Twitter. Somebody had liked it, Gamertag VR, somebody had given it a thumbs up, and I got all excited because, we talk about it often on this channel. We beg people, please stop buying Superhot so these guys will have to do something else, because, why would they put a new game out, right? As long as they keep selling the old one. But Mind Control Delete actually is an expansion that has been available in early access for around 2 years. And the team has always stated that VR would not be supported. So, as badly as it rips my guts out to know that there's new Superhot that I really don't have any interest in playing, it is what it is. We've known about it for a while.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. As long as they do a new one, I don't care. Let's get to the next one. Maybe they're finally getting to that stage, right?
Well, that's the thing, man. When I found out that this new expansion was not going to support VR, I was red, man. I was ready to come on here and rip these guys a new one. I was going to come on here and I was going to say, what are you doing, guys? What are you doing? Why are you putting out this stuff and wasting your time on flat gaming when everybody who cares about your game is a VR gamer? You've made more money selling VR games. Why would you waste your time on flat? And I was all ready to come on here and start spilling all this. And then it dawned on me. This is exactly what the flat gamers say. Whenever a AAA studio puts out a VR game or announces they're working on a VR game, or Sony does a state of play that's, completely focused on PSVR, the flat gamers go, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time on VR? All the money's in flat. Everybody just wants you to make flat stuff. Why are you wasting your time? So when I heard myself regurgitating their garbage, I pumped the brakes pretty quick, and now I kind of get it, right?
Yeah, well, especially since they've been saying it since day one, and it has been around for 2 years. It's not like out of the blue. It's just the news to us is out of the blue, because I didn't know that this thing even existed, and that they said it was not going to be VR. So maybe they're working on something. Maybe they're working on a VR version, a different game at the same time as they're putting this out, and they're going to announce that as well. That would be cool. So
yeah, well, we do know that earlier this year that they did release a job posting that indicated that they were seeking a producer for a, quote, a shiny new VR project. And the studio further said that their next VR title would not be a sequel to Superhot, but a proper evolution, and that kind of makes my mind race a little bit. What do they mean by proper evolution? They could take this time moves when you move mechanic and literally, build any kind of crazy ass game that would be awesome, right?
Super cold. What they're gonna call it, right?
Super cool. Well, I feel
Yeah.
like that would be more of a sequel. I'm thinking, something like a legitimate, um, story based game with like, realistic, semi realistic graphics anyway, and something that uh, works your time manipulation into the story, like something like the Matrix, right? Neo had the ability to slow down time and fight like that. Uh, you know, Superhot makes people feel like they're in the Matrix. It's kind of the thing people um, that people always reference when they talk about why Superhot is so good. So when I think evolution, I think along those lines. I think bigger. I mean, this game has been out what 3 or 4 years now. I'm thinking of a whole new iteration on the game's core mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds good. Something that's close but completely different, right? So
Yeah, Mepper says, I have the flat super hot from the Epic Store. I wonder if I can get this. If you paid for it, you can get it. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. If you paid for it and you didn't just get a free copy because they were giving it away or something like that, yeah, you absolutely can get it. And different platforms
mm,
have different methods to claim your free copy. A lot of them are going to just get an automatic update
mm.
the day it releases. And if you don't get that update automatically, then you need to consult their website and they will give you instructions on how to claim your copy on your specific platform.
Yeah. Well, I let me ask you this: are you gonna play through it flat?
Not a chance in hell.
I just don't see the point of playing this game on a flat monitor or TV. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. I love playing Sea of Thieves and other really cool flat games that I can't get in VR, but you telling me that this is something I can't get in VR, I'll go play it right now. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but doesn't look like anything that's worth to me getting too excited about as a VR gamer. But
I wonder if anybody's tried the Vorpex, the original Super Hot.
that would be weird. Somebody's tried it, I'm sure. But
I wonder, maybe that's an option for someone. If somebody's particularly devastated out there that they can't play this thing, maybe Vorpex is the answer.
yeah, well, if Vorpex is ever going to be the answer for Roots, it's going to involve somebody saying, "Hey, Roots, I set this up for you. Go check it out." And I'll be like, "Wow, this is amazing, dude." Because I can't get the performance to work right, not to my liking anyway. So
Well, I've been studying up on it. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and Red Dead Redemption 2 Roots
mhm.
completely doable.
Oh, sweet. Well, so what you're telling me is that you're that guy that's going to help me get into Vorpex set up. You just tell me what
Well,
the settings are, and I'll set it up, and we'll both be enjoying Red Dead Redemption 2 because that game is amazing.
yeah, well, I'll certainly take you along with me. Anytime that I'm putting the kind of time into playing a game that it's going to require to play it through Vorpex, I'm sure we're going to end up talking about it on the Monday show anyway. So I might move through the game catalog at a snail's pace, but I'll certainly give you my settings and let you know what I do to get these games set up and running.
I want to hear your thoughts on trying to find Lenny. And
Lenny.
yeah, I just Red Dead Redemption 2 is it's so good. It's one of those flat games that story wise and just how open it is and just what you can do. There's just so much. And every time I play it, it blows me away. I like to play it with my son because he's crazy. He does all sorts of weird, bizarre things that just cracks me up and gets himself in trouble. So
Phil Yarn says Zelda VR would have me calling in sick for a month.
yeah, me
You
too.
can actually you can play Breath of the Wild in VR to a pretty good extent, and I'm not talking about the Labo rewire method. You can actually uh, download the Wii U version of the ISO, run it in the CMU emulator, and install some custom shaders, and you can run Breath of the Wild in. I mean, it's not one to one perfect VR, but it is first person, and it's pretty close, man. It looks really good if you have a beefy enough computer to run it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that sounds like something that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, PD says Dolphin VR. Yeah, you can play some of the older Zelda games on Dolphin VR. I don't know all of the thousand Zelda titles, but there was one that was kind of cartoony. I think it was on GameCube that runs fairly well on the Dolphin VR emulator, if what people are saying is to be believed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check that out. I still have yet to try the Dolphin.
Hard to get says I played Breath of the Wild VR with my PSVR. Quality was something, it was 480p or something like that. Yeah, I tried that too. It was cool. It was definitely better than the Labo version of it. But what we're talking about here is a full on, HD first person uh, experience. There again, you're using an emulator on your PC and using the Wii U version of the game instead of the Switch version. But I think Sweeviver did a tutorial on how to set it up. So just search for that in YouTube if you're interested. And apparently it's real. A few people have tried it and say that it works. So.
Radio Runt's mowing the lawn while he's listening to the show. What a good combination, right? Don't hurt yourself, Radio Runt.
I did that. I did that one of the last times that we did pre-recorded.
Hmm?
I actually did the same thing. I would do a lap around my yard and then pull my phone out of my pocket, chat for a minute, do another lap, chat for a minute.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, when you have real life stuff you got to do, That's why I like doing it this way, man. We're doing the show once instead of twice. You did it 3 times. You did it live when we recorded it, and then you edited it, and you're doing it again somewhat, and then you're also doing it again to playback. So crazy.
Oh, speaking of watching it through 3 times and editing the crap out of something, patrons, guys, if you haven't been checking your email, we did the 3rd episode of the Money Show for the Patreon supporters, and it's pretty cool. We couldn't decide whether or not we wanted to do a show that's formatted like this, a topical show where we discuss things, or if we wanted to do a gameplay. So we did both. We went into Stormland, Ruuts and I, and we talked about some topics. We talked about the G2. We talked about the Museum of Other Realities. We talked about some PSVR rumors and more. And I edited it up so that it switches back and forth between Ruuts' point of view and my point of view. And I think it turned out pretty good. So if you haven't checked it out already, patrons, go on there and check it out. It's the Money Show, episode 3, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's our first real one of that kind, and we're going to be doing more, and they're going to get better and better. So,
I like the concept, and I feel like we're going to be doing it on Patreon for the next little bit. But if it continues to go the way I expect, we may roll this concept out to the channel at large and do some of these gameplay merged with topical discussion on the larger channel.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Anyway, Alex VR, Onikazi showing up. What's up, guys? Anyway, yeah, even though I was very disappointed initially with Superhot VR, the moment I started spouting off the same garbage that the flat gamers spout out, I kind of reined it in, and I started looking into what they're doing with VR, and apparently they are working on something for us. And who knows, Ruuts, it may just be a matter of time now before they announce it. The original Superhot VR was funded by Oculus, so or at least in part. So it may be something like that where we're waiting on some kind of event like OC6 for the next iteration to be announced.
Cool.
Okay, well, moving on, Vertigo Remastered. We've been looking forward to Vertigo Remastered ever since we pretty much heard about it. The Zalubo Productions released a free demo for Vertigo Part 2, and everyone loved it. Everyone said, what if the original Vertigo was like this? And then they announced that the original Vertigo is going to be like that. And furthermore, much like Superhot Mind Control Delete, anyone who already owns the original Vertigo doesn't have to pay for Vertigo Remastered. Roots, it's 100% free of charge.
Yeah, that's a good deal. It makes me sad because we found out in recent episodes we can't go back and buy it. It doesn't exist before. And so you can't buy it now to get the good deal. And we don't get the good deal, but we have Mamefan's good deal, so that's good. But yeah, I think it's really cool. It looks amazing. Gameplay looks phenomenal. And I never played the original or the first one before they remastered it, and it looks like we only have 9 more days to go. So that's awesome.
It looks like it's going to be another one of these awesome deals where we didn't partake in the game when it originally was released, so now we get to discover it in the best way, right? In fully re-rendered, high quality HD VR. And we don't have long to wait either. July 21st, just a couple of weeks away, and we'll be playing this one.
Yeah, it's close, man. It's cool. I think it looks really good. There's so many games coming out, and a lot of games, until they come out, I see the trailer and it looks cool, but I'm not really that psyched to play it, or I'm like, I could, hit or miss. But I just think, who doesn't want to pick up a caterpillar and pat it on the head? It looks good.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty awesome. And how many games have we? Half-Life for sure. My first Half-Life experience was Half-Life Alyx. My first Fallout experience was Fallout 4 VR. For the first time I played Skyrim was Skyrim VR. So I'm happy, Roots. I kind of fell away from flat gaming for a few years before I picked gaming in general back up for VR, and it's working out.
Yeah, all those good titles that we've should have played back in the day, and we never did. We get to play them in VR as they come out, which is cool.
Yeah. And on a similar note, I just read right before we started the show today that someone is releasing Return to Castle Wolfenstein for Oculus Quest with full 6DoV head and hand tracking. Much like the recent Doom mods that have been released, Return to Castle Wolfenstein is getting a similar treatment.
Nice.
Very soon.
Is that one that Mamefan's got the leaderboards on the PC?
It's a sequel. It's a sequel to that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool.
Zaylin Maru says Vertigo 2 demo was great. Hey, buddy, did you get your Pimax Artisan? And if so, what did you think about it?
Yeah, Pimax, dude. I'm curious. At some point, Pimax will solidify their headset, and I'm just curious if it's now.
Yeah, it could be. I will say this for them. They've consistently improved since they came on the scene. They hear people's complaints, and there've been a lot of them. But they continue to improve comfort. They continue to improve quality. They're using better components and displaying an overall better build quality. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what people think about this latest line of Pimax headsets.
Are you interested enough to cancel your Reverb G2 and get a Pimax instead?
Not a chance in hell, sir.
No
way.
Yeah.
Anyway, Vertigo Remastered, the July 21st release date was just confirmed in a brand new announcement trailer, which I think is what we're looking at here. The game will launch for $25 with support for all PC VR headsets. But again, if you already have the original Vertigo, you will get it for free.
I could have sworn that was really cheap not too long ago also.
Well, I thought so because the Oculus store keeps putting on Vertigo with an exclamation point on a cheap sale. But Vertigo with an exclamation point is actually not Vertigo. It's just trying to make people believe that it is.
That's crappy.
Zayla Maru says, yes, Pimax Artisan setup and is running great. Been playing Half-Life Alyx in it, and it looks really good. You know, Sebastian says that of all the Pimax products, the Artisan's actually his favorite when you take the whole package into account with cost and everything. He really likes the Artisan.
What about your Audica experiences, Zaylan Maru? Because anytime I get more field of view, I'm going to go right into Audica, and I'm going to Audica the hell out of it. And I've been playing a lot lately, Wes, and I'm getting back into some Audica. It reminds me, I played some Beat Saber right after just to see, and my Beat Saber feelings are the same. It's an okay game that is not even close to Audica.
I feel like both of those games deserve some more attention from me because they've both been significantly altered since I first played them. They both have a lot of new tracks, new environments, new gameplay modes. It's been a while since I played either of those.
Yeah, that's the only way I'll really play Beat Saber is I actually started to go through the campaign. Because it's even different now than the last time I tried it. And it says you have like branches. You've got a couple here, and you got to do these first three, and then you unlock the next set, and you're moving up the thing. And songs you've already played before, but and then it's also giving you point. You have to reach a certain amount of points to get past that level, so you can't just I passed it. No, you got to do well enough to pass it. So that was pretty cool.
Hard to get says, is the Artisan field of view bigger than the Index? Yes, it is. It is. It's like 140 or 150. It's big enough to be a significant upgrade over the regular headsets, but it's narrow enough to eliminate most of that edge distortion that Pimax has been known for. Generally, all of the distortions and things have been present when using the larger, wider viewing settings, but the Artisan apparently is just small enough to eliminate most of that.
Cool. Yeah, now you're making me want to get one.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if you're an Audica guy, you might want to think about it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm bummed about not having an Index is Jim Hall was saying how good the extra field of view helps on Audica. And and Anthony as well.
Overall Artisan field of view is 170.
Holy crap!
Maru says that's pretty big, all right?
Yeah, no, I didn't even see that. I'm still tripping on the sentence before that. Zaylan Maru says I haven't played Audica. Sorry. What the hell are you doing? You're in VR and you're not playing Audica. You got to try it. Talk to Phil Yarn, who called it Trashtica for months and now owns it and loves it. So.
Yeah, well, I get it. I hadn't played it forever. It was because I said so, if I'm not mistaken, was the only reason I played it to begin with.
Yeah, that's good. I bought it twice. So once on Oculus and once on Steam.
I will agree with you, though, that at least in the version that was present back then, I did enjoy it more than Beat Saber. So
yeah, it was good.
Hey, that's Jim Hall. It is.
Hey, Jim Hall, we need to do some Sea of Thieves. As long as I'm seeing your thumbs up there, man, we need to get back in there.
Anyway, again, Vertigo Remastered is a top-to-bottom makeover of the 2016 original, featuring completely revamped graphics and brand new features like new enemies and a new upgrade system. The game story mode leads directly into Vertigo 2, the demo for which was released late last year.
When is Vertigo 2 supposed to come out? Pretty soon, right?
I would imagine it wouldn't be too much. I would say this year, if I had to guess, but we don't know.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, because we knew about Vertigo 2 before we knew about Vertigo Remastered. And I got a lot of respect for this developer because he got started on Vertigo 2 and said, you know what, man, if only I had had my current levels of skill and knowledge when I made that game, it could have been more like the game I envisioned. And then he said, you know what? Why don't I just go fix it?
Yeah.
And that's what he did. So, I mean, I got a lot of respect for that. I mean, he could just completely charge everybody for the revamped version like Flat Games do,
No, it's smart because you're going to get the new people that think it looks amazing for $25, and the rest of the people that already own it are going to love it and give good reviews, and it's good.
And then they're going to buy Vertigo too, right?
Yep.
When it comes out later this year for $5,000.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Trashtica was the ugly duckling, Phil Yarn says.
It's good.
VR Spry Guy, I haven't played Trashtica either.
Yeah. Well, you need to get into it, Spry.
Yeah. Maybe. If you're into that sort of thing. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Anyway, Roots, the hits just keep on rolling. In recent weeks, we have detailed a litany of Oculus Quest announcements, a veritable laundry list. And the train keeps rolling because just this past week, Roots, Layers of Fear VR came to the Oculus Quest store just this last Thursday. As we all know, the game first came to Google's Daydream platform a few years ago as an abridged version named Layers of Fear Solitude. And then Bloober Team dropped a full VR port of the original game on PC in December of last year. So I didn't see this one coming, Roots. I really didn't, until all of a sudden it dropped and everybody and their brother was playing Layers of Fear, including Paradise Decay, which did he did a good video with some spooky happenings in it. So if you guys haven't seen PD's Layers of Fear VR video, go check it out. But I think it's cool, Roots. This is a good game. Kind of slow-paced psychological horror. But from what I can tell, the port holds up.
You played the PC version, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. It looks, I never played it. It looks pretty creepy. I'll have to check out PD's video.
Yeah, you played it, but you didn't play it.
Oh, that's right. I did. I went into that room and I couldn't get through that door, or something happened, right?
Right. Yeah, you did. You missed the key. The key to get through the door, which is pretty much the door to the game, because that's when it gets started, is when you get into that room. But yeah, it's an awesome game. I absolutely agree that you should go back in and play it. Maybe we need to revisit it for the Monday show, because I need to get back in and play it myself, even though I lost all of my save progress on it and have to start all over again.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks like the production value is pretty good. So
yeah, PD says Quest is killing it with good content. Man, isn't it though? I mean, it just keeps on coming. Every week there's a handful of new announcements.
Yeah, well, that's good, because for a long time it was a little dry as far as the selection of games. They were still good, but not as many as other platforms. Are starting to catch up. So
yeah. Anyway, Layers of Fear, $20 on Quest. Not the only Quest announcement this week, because we then found out that the Invisible Hours is coming to Oculus Quest as well. Of course, the Invisible Hours released as a VR title for PC VR and PSVR initially, and then was updated to add in non-VR support. The title is a half game, half experience title that tells the mystery murder story involving a group of people who have been invited to the isolated island of Nikola Tesla only to find his corpse. As an invisible entity, you have no influence on the plot, but you get to move around the mansion and follow the various characters while you play the plot in real time, or even manipulate the playback to see other interactions that are played out elsewhere in the mansion. So here's another fairly popular Gen 1 VR title coming to Quest in 2020, Roots. I feel like, much like Layers of Fear, people pretty much universally like this one.
yeah, you still haven't tried this. You need to get into this game. This is one of those, and that's actually funny I say game, because we were having a discussion in the Discord. Mamefan was saying that Anthony considers this a movie, interactive movie or something of that nature. I consider it a game, even though you can't change anything in there, but there's so much you can do, and it seems more gamey to me than just a movie. What do you think?
Well, I have not played it, and this is the part where everyone oohs and ahs that Wes has never played the Invisible Hours. But I've never gotten around to playing this one. I do own it. I picked it up forever ago in like a bundle. Like I paid like $2 for it or something like that. But I've never actually installed it and booted it.
Yeah. I just hit the key to on the wrong screen. I don't even know what game that was. But yeah, no, I'm one of those people that is oohing and awing and saying, "What the hell's going on?" Every time you say, "I've never tried this," I'm like, "What the hell, man? This is so good." Definitely worth checking out. It's really cool that it's coming to the Oculus Quest. An amazing addition, in my opinion.
Yeah, it makes Quest an exciting platform to be on, especially for those who have picked up an Oculus Quest as their first headset. For people who have never had VR before, Oculus Quest must seem like the coolest shit ever, right?
Yeah, you know what's funny is my sister texted me yesterday and she said that my nephew, he just turned I think he's 18, just bought his own, saved up and bought a Quest and was literally picking it up yesterday. And so she's never even tried the VR, so she's gonna try it out as well. It's kind of cool.
Dude, that's awesome. She's going to be blown away, but I think you already know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quest blows newbies away even more than like the original demos that we used to do, because it's so easy to do. You literally you can have it anywhere, right? And you just say, "Here, put this on," and hand them their hands, and that's it. You put them in the first steps, demo, the tutorial, and they'll play in that thing for 30, 45 minutes and be amazed. And that's just, free, free software that comes with it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, Paradise Decay says, "When Five Nights at Freddy's? When? When are we getting Five Nights at Freddy's on Quest?" We already talked about this,
Hello.
PD.
Welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
I was kind of worried about it. It's taken them so long to actually finish it. I was afraid it might not be a very good port. But this past week, Steel Wool Studios released a new trailer that gives us over a minute of brand new Oculus.
Thank you, Mamefan. Wow, that must have been really loud too. It was like pegging the meter. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'm sticking to it. I think Paradise Decay is the secret president of the Five Nights at Freddy's Club. I do agree, Tyler.
Yeah. Okay. So in case you guys didn't hear it, which I think is pretty obvious that you didn't, this is a brand new trailer from Steel Wool Studios, and it features over a minute of Oculus Quest footage. And prior to this, I was a little worried about how it was going to turn out. It's taken them so long to get this game to market that I was afraid it might be kind of bad. But it looks great. It looks like a proper port and all that you really could ask for when you consider what the Quest actually is running on.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that gave a couple people a jump scare. That was crazy.
Well, I guess it's fitting, right? For
Yeah.
the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, it was a Five Nights at Freddy's spook scare. Hopefully you guys got scared, and we'll go back to not being loud in your ear.
Anyway, July 16th, PD, as I'm sure you already know, Five Nights at Freddy's VR coming to Oculus Quest, and I need to run that test run on it, Roots. I need to see how well this game runs through Steam VR streaming onto my Oculus Quest, because if it runs as smoothly as I think it's going to, I'm not even going to bother with buying this thing on Quest.
Yeah, you might as well try it. You got 4 days, right?
Yeah, and even if I do end up buying it, Oculus just sent me like a $10 credit for my account, so I won't have to pay the full price for it.
Right.
But I mean, to be honest, if I'm going to spend that $10 on something, I'd rather have something like In Death or something like that.
Yeah, I never got that credit. You said to watch my email. I've been watching it like a hawk. No $10 credit in here.
And maybe it's just something that's just for certain people, picked it randomly, or maybe it's just because I'm so damn cool.
Yeah, maybe. I think it is. Oh wow, it says our VR podcast on Anchor is now available for Apple Podcast. Let your
Oh,
listeners know. I'm letting you know right now in
I
real
thought we
time.
were already on
I think
the
we
app.
we are in some respect, but it's not direct. I don't know, man. I don't understand that mumbo jumbo. But apparently we're available, even though I thought we were. Oh, so
Well, good, good. The audience expanding.
yeah, yeah. They seem to like you more than me. The devs. Is that what I think VR Spry guy is saying? I agree. They like
Yeah,
Wes more than Roots.
yeah. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do, huh?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, huh? All right. Anyway, the train has kept rolling all week for Oculus Quest. Layers of Fear, Invisible Hours, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, and Affected the Manor. Fallen Planet Studios has released a free DLC package for Affected the Manor on Oculus Quest called the Gauntlet. And this is interesting, Roots, because the Gauntlet gives players a unique speedrun challenge with randomized events.
Hmm.
Players are able to compete on a global leaderboard with the new content using the headset's built-in microphone to detect screams and measuring their fear in the process. At the end, you get a rating, and that rating again posted to a global leaderboard. Roots, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
Yeah, that's weird. People screaming to get. I mean, that's how they're gonna tell if you're scared, right? So, I mean, if you want to be good on the leaderboard, you're just gonna scream really loud every time something jumps up, right? I mean, I don't see how you can have a legit leaderboard that way. Seems like you
Well,
could.
maybe
Oh, go ahead.
maybe the trial isn't about how loud you can get, but how quiet you can be.
Oh, maybe they can tell the difference of faking it.
Right, right. I don't know, man. I think it's cool that after all of this time, that Affected the Manor is getting any kind of update with free content. You know, I was starting to worry about those guys because they do have a popular title here, over 300,000 copies of it sold. Uh, but they promised us more than one, right? There was Affected the Manor, and then there was like two other Affected games that was supposed to be coming soon, if I recall correctly. And I thought that those were pretty much dead at this point, but who knows? Maybe those guys are polishing them up, getting them ready for the next gen.
Yeah, maybe. Did you play this game? I never played it. I don't. It looks kind of creepy.
Yeah, I played it on PC as well as PSVR. I've actually played it multiple times.
Oh, cool.
It's already got good replayability because there are two paths that you can take through the manor. So it's actually, as short as it is, um, there's two different branches to go. So it's pretty much a different experience each way. And in addition to that, apparently, since I've played it, they've added in full 6-stop hand tracking as well. So now that you can open up your own doors and interact with things in ways that you weren't able to before.
Oh, nice.
Oh, looks like Tyler's in chat. What's up, buddy? We already talked our trash when it comes to contractors when your co-host was on here earlier. Looking forward to getting in there and thrashing you guys thoroughly.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Anyway, Affected the Manor, the Gauntlet, launched on July 9th for Oculus Quest owners. Affected the Manor is available on the Oculus Quest store right now at a 25% discount, which makes it $7.50. The free DLC will then be made available for Oculus Rift next week and then followed by Steam in August. Fallen Planet Studios has also confirmed development of a PlayStation VR version. Roots, it's raining DLC this week in the land of VR.
That's good. DLC is always good and welcomed, especially when it's free. But yeah, no, I never played the original, so maybe it's time to go in and actually play this and the DLC. Wonder why it's come to Quest first and then the Rift. It seems like that's kind of being a trend, I guess.
Because it's 2020, dude. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, upside down world. Everything's upside down. Topsy turvy.
Anyway, No, it's solid. I feel like it's a good introductory title for those who feel like they're sensitive to VR horror. Effective is a good starting point because it's slow paced and pretty much it's as slow as you want it to be. And it's just a pretty much a haunted house walking simulator. You just walk through it,
Hmm.
and there's a few jump scares, but it's not like every 5 seconds or anything. It's spaced out fairly well. It's more of an atmosphere and tension generator, right? So it's going to have people kind of on the edge of their seat as they make their way through it, and it'll jump you out of your boots a few times.
Cool. Have to try it.
PD says we should try Journey in Vortex. It's amazing. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to trying all of those games. Journey, Little Nightmares. What was the name of the other one? There's another one of those little side scroller games that I wanted to try out as well. All that stuff, all the stuff that I thought looked cool on flat, but I didn't play because it was flat. I'm looking forward to checking it out in Vortex.
Yeah.
There's tons of that. I mean, there's stuff that's 5, 6 years old on Steam that you can play in Vortex, and the titles escape me right now. But I'm looking forward to trying that stuff just as much as I am the newer games.
Yeah, me too.
Ori and the Blind Forest 1 and 2. Yeah, Unravel. That's the one I was thinking of. Unravel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying all that stuff out. But again, you know me. It's going to come at a snail's pace, especially if I have to tweak it and to get it running right. It'll be pretty much a title per week at the most. Anyway, another great week for Oculus Quest. Another great week for those people who only play on Quest. Man, that platform just keeps getting better. More capabilities, more games. It's wonderful. Pablo Cesar Petrocelli says almost all the free games from the Epic Store. That would be cool because there was another one called Minute, Minit, Minute. That is like a black and white animated thing that I think would be cool if I could put some kind of 3D effect on.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been using that Helix Vision or whatever. I was able to get Little Nightmares to work really well on there. And then I told you Pinball FX3 looks really good. So it's another way that because Vortex is very demanding on your resources as well once it gets it into 3D. But yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Roots, and we move on from Oculus Quest to PlayStation VR. As this past week, Perp Games has announced that they are partnering with CoinFlip Studios to port their VR action title Ninja Legends to PlayStation VR this summer. As usually is the case with Perp Games, the PlayStation VR release will be available in both physical and digital format. Quote, releasing this summer, players will stand toe-to-toe fighting waves of incoming enemies with weapons ranging from deadly katanas to a mighty bow. Each weapon handles very differently from the next, all of them requiring unique techniques to perfect. The game has been designed to make you feel like a ninja. It immediately drops you into the action and provides you with heavy doses of epic moments. Roots, I'm excited. I'm excited for the PSVR community because I saw how they reacted to Gorn. And, ever since Gorn released, we've learned that, House Split Arena is eventually going to come to PSVR. We've learned that Until You Fall is coming to PSVR. And we've learned that Ninja Legends is coming to PSVR. And they're all similar styles of gameplay. And they're all better than Gorn, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I agree. And this is one of those games. It's got so many different types of weapons, and it's just different. I don't think they have many games like this on PlayStation VR. Now, let me ask you this, because in our personal conversation we had off air, you said that you were considering getting the PlayStation 5 digital only version of the PlayStation 5, and I see on this one it's got that nice little game cartridge and stuff, and I just like having I like the disc, Wes. I don't know that I can go digital, man. I guess there's not really a question in there because I already know that you're considering it. But have you changed your mind? Or are you still? Is it digital city for Wes? Or because I didn't even know that was an option until you mentioned it, and that blows my mind that people are now willing to want to just get rid of their physical copies. You know?
Yeah. What I was saying pretty much is if the price difference is $100 or more, I have to consider going with the cheaper option, because honestly, the only reason I've ever bought any VR games on disc was because I got some super crazy good deal on it. But it would take a nice amount of good deals to add up to $100 that I would just be saving at the top by going with the discless console.
I've just given away so many games or loaned games and just done things with discs that I can't do. And I don't like the option. I don't like the thought that there is no discs anymore, because there's jank sometimes, man, when even if you can play offline, you go to play or whatever and you can't access their server, you can't play shit, man, nothing. You know what I mean? And so that I just don't like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you don't have to connect to. It's not like Steam where you have to connect to the PlayStation Network to play your games. If you have them installed on your console, you can play them offline. There are advantages to both ways. I would say that the advantages to digital are that you can play online multiplayer between two consoles with one copy of the game if you have a digital copy. Obviously, you can't have a disc in two places at one time. I would also ask you this, Ruuts. Your copy of Rush of Blood, is it physical or is it digital?
It's not mine anymore, but it was physical.
It was. The first one was physical, right?
Yeah.
But the second one was digital. Why is that?
Oh, because it got scratched by my nephew when I loaned it to him. So you just gotta take care of your stuff. But yeah, seeing Bitey's got a point too. He said there's been problems with people's PSN recently where games are disappearing from their accounts and support doesn't even help, which I hadn't heard. I mean, I don't know how prevalent that is, but I mean, I agree with you. I mean, there's reasons for it and there's reasons against. I just like my physical copy if I can, even if it can be damaged by people that don't take care of it.
I will say this, if it's just a $50 difference, it's a no-brainer. I like to have options. But even if I do get the version that takes a disc, I won't be buying discs unless, again, there's just some killer deal that I find on one from GameStop or somewhere else.
Yeah, true.
Les Marswick in the house. What's up, buddy? He says, hi there. Been playing VR and lost track of time. Yeah, been there, done that, man. Anyway, Ninja Legends. It's an interesting port to PSVR. It's been ported around already. Steam VR, Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest, and it's all been good because all of those different platforms have substantial tracking systems available with them. But when it comes to PlayStation VR, the tracking volume, while the tracking is accurate, the tracking volume is limited. And if you get outside of that window, then it's not very accurate anymore. And this is very interesting to me if they're actually going to, for the first time, modify their game for a platform. Because if you play this game on any other platform, PC or Quest, you'll know that these guys come from all around you, right? It's not full 360, but I'd say what, Ruuts, 270 degrees that these things are all around you at?
Yeah, it's just that cone behind you. They're not directly coming from behind, but if you can see it out of your periphery or just anywhere, they're going to be coming from forward, left, right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the tracking does. If it's going to be able to hold up properly, I think they will have to do something different to make it be optimal, right?
Right. Well, it immediately brings Beat Saber to mind, right? You know, Beat Saber did the 360 mode for the Oculus Quest and the PCVR platforms, but when it came to PlayStation VR, what did they do? Like a 90 degrees or something like that?
Yeah,
It
something like
wasn't
that.
anywhere near 360.
Yeah. No, and I've got that on the PC. I was just looking at that when I was doing that. I thought about trying it, but yeah, they definitely have to change it a little bit.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if the version actually turns out to be different, or if they're just going to count on PSVR coming through for them. I could see the game getting rather frustrating because it's hectic, isn't it? It's a hectic game at times.
Yeah, it's crazy. You got all sorts of crap going on. So
it's also super fun and really good looking. You know, for such low res textures, it's a really good looking game. But when it comes to the environments, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's very crisp, very cool. It really does give you that presence of being up on a rooftop, being attacked by ninja legends, right?
Yeah. Actually, this is another one of those games I need to check out with my new wireless setup for my headset because you know, I've talked about it a bunch of times, maybe getting the game again on Quest, but I might not have to, right?
Yeah, with virtual desktop, that's one of the best programs out there, man. For so many reasons, especially if you have Quest, I don't see why you would not have that program.
Yeah, yeah, man. You know, I didn't have it before I picked it up for streaming purposes, and really, I just kind of picked it up as an experiment. You know, it was before Oculus Link was even a thing. Uh, I picked up Virtual Desktop to try it out, and it really wasn't all that good back then. But I've since come to find out it wasn't the program at all. It was my ancient router, which we have since gone on to remedy.
Yeah, that's why I usually use what the cable company gives me. It's all in one.
But anyway, yeah, a great game. Another big pickup for the PlayStation VR community, and I look forward to seeing how it turns out and what people think about it.
Yeah, me too. And I'm excited that PD has a RTX 2070. VR Spry guys commenting on it, and what an amazing upgrade from a 1060, right?
Yeah, man. Rumors now coming out that the 3070 is going to run about $500. I don't know how true that is, but it would certainly be a welcome change to their pricing structure from the last 5 or 6 years.
Wow, if that, if it's the 3070 is $500, the 2080 and the 1080s are gonna plummet, right? They have to, unless you can't find them.
You would think so, but you know, 1080 Ti's have not dropped a penny since they launched. So who knows, man?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, the 3080 is supposed to be that much more of a upgrade from the 2080. Even I don't think it's gonna make the 1080s look like mediocre at that point. Still good card, especially the TIs, but you know, from what I hear, the 3080s are supposed to be that much more of a jump this time than last time. Because that was the whole thing, is a lot of people like yourself that had a 1080 Ti, there's almost absolutely no reason to upgrade because it's very close in performance to the 2080s. Not going to be as good, but it's going to be right up there. And I mean, for the cost of it, it's just no reason.
They may actually be getting nervous about some kind of class action suit being brought against them for price gouging. You know, that's what happened with the RAM, right? The RAM was over twice as much as it costs today just 2 years ago. And a class action suit got brought against all the RAM manufacturers for price fixing. And now you see RAM is absolutely dirt cheap. And again, less than half of what it cost when I built my computer.
Yeah, I just bought 32 gigs of 3200 DDR4 for 150. So now, and people think it's weird, but I'm now running 48 gigs, Wes. So
did you buy? Let me ask you this: did you buy the exact same cache latency timing on it? The CL count, is it the same?
everything is on my thing is the same, my car or my RAM, except my original two were 8 gigs, and I bought 16 gigs this time. And it's the same, everything's the same. It's the next model up. It's 3200 instead of 3000. But what's weird is when I used my XMP, it bumped them all up to 3200, and it's supposed to supposedly it's supposed to go the other way around. So I don't know. All I know is it's running really good and super fast.
So it's way overclocking your lower ones, and it's probably running them at a different timing too. I know that this is something that people say you're not supposed to do. That's the reason why I was asking you. But I don't know why. I don't know what the harm is in it. I'm not that technically proficient.
The Rams came a long way. It used to be that you just couldn't do it. Now most of them can work. It depends on how advanced your motherboard is. And then, like I said, it's the exact same Pro, RGB, Corsair, whatever the hell. It's the exact same model. Everything's the same. It's just that little bit. And so I don't know. A lot of people say you shouldn't use 16 or have that much, like 8 and 8 and 1 and 2 and then 16 and 16. But then there's other people that say it doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. So if any of you out there are well versed in this type of thing, let us know down in the description. What is the dangers, not only of running different speeds of RAM, but running different CL timings? So maybe one of them is a CL16 and the other one's a CL14. I know mine is a CL16, I think, but it's an odd timing, and it's one of the things that has kept me from picking more up, because it's hard to find my specific timing that mine is rated for. Most CL16 RAM is not on the specific timing intervals that mine's on. So literally I have to pretty much find the exact same kit of RAM if I want to keep it all the same.
Yeah, and I thought about that because even what Spry was saying, because that's exactly what I thought. The RAM was only going to run as fast as the slowest set. But even my other ones are 3000, which is really fast anyway. So I'm not really worried about it. I mean, I could take that 16 out and I could have 32 gigs and it would run really good. But I don't know. Unless I start to see any problems arise, then I'll leave them in. Because like I said, when I was running Fallout 4 VR, it was at 13 gigs. And that's with nothing open. And it's just, we're getting to the point where 16 is still good enough. It's absolutely still good enough. Really don't need anything more, but we're right on the edge. And like you said, with future proofing and with as cheap as the RAM is, I just thought, why not? Why not just get, because there are programs people don't realize that will run better if you have more RAM. If it's limited in RAM, it'll still run really good and it'll use what it's got. But if it has that much more, it'll kick it up a little bit. But it depends on how close you are to that max. So
it'd be cool if they could. And I'm sure in coming years they will find ways to distribute the an abundance of RAM and use it for other things. Just one of the many coming innovations, I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
Gamer Chick 13 is in the house. Thanks for stopping by. Looks like Pablo Petrocelli has changed over to his other account, Cho VR, so we could pronounce his name a little bit more easily.
Yeah, thank you, Cho.
Yeah, Cho's a lot easier, right?
Hell yeah.
Chover.
Hey, Chover. Yeah, I like it.
Chover saves the multiverse.
Yeah, I need a sequel to that one. Now that I do it.
Anyway, PSVR news keeps on rolling, Roots. Not only Ninja Legends, but we also got some news on Crysis Brigade 2 for PlayStation VR. And what we have learned is that Crysis Brigade 2 is going to release on the 14th of July. So just 2 more days, Roots, until the PSVR community gets sore legs as well. And
get their asses handed to them. I'll tell you what, Wes, I went back into this recently and I made it really far. Okay. So I had all these points and I died, and I continued. I got to the last guy. There's actual boss, and I didn't do too well on the boss. I died pretty easily, and I'm really thinking I'm going to need 2 people to get to the next stage, because it's hard. This is a hard game. This is going to frustrate some PlayStation VR people while they're smiling, because it's really good. So
you're saying if you continue to make your way through the game, that Bruce Springsteen is in there and he's difficult to deal with?
Yes, yeah, that's why I didn't think you were going to catch that reference. No, just kidding. But no, it's hard, man. It's very fun, very addictive, and definitely worth picking up if you have a PlayStation VR and you only have to wait 2 days.
Yeah, Roots. I'm considering getting a second copy on PlayStation VR. Do you know why?
I'm trying to. Can you? Is there cross-buy or crossplay?
No, well, I don't know. I'm actually planning on.
The aim controller. What am I thinking? Of course you want to pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah, this game would be so much cooler holding the actual damn gun in your hand, right?
Yeah, so it does have aim support then, right?
Yeah, the announcement was made just a few days ago by lead developer Diego Martin via his Twitter account. So indeed, not only are we getting Crisis Brigade 2 on PSVR in just a couple of days, but it is going to support the aim controller. So really, the only question left is what you asked: is it going to be cross-platform? And again, I'm going to try to contact the developer this week to get the answer to that question, because if it is, I might go ahead and get a second, or I guess at this point, a third copy of it.
I just want to play with somebody else that's going to help me get past the boss. That's all.
Yeah, I'm also going to ask. Never mind. We'll get into that when I talk to him. I have other questions for him as well. Anyway, the Steam version was also updated this past week to add support for bHaptics products, and the AI was improved. So did you have you played it since the update, and did you notice a difference in the enemy AI?
I don't think I've played it since the update. I don't know when the update was, and it's been a couple days since I played, but I did notice. I will go back in and see if the AI. But what was wrong with the AI before? Was it not smart enough, or was it too hard, or
I got to imagine that there's probably a little bit more or a little less predictability in it. You know, when I played through it, the AI was totally predictable. The enemies didn't really have any kind of intelligence. They all just kind of ran on the same path every time you played through it.
Okay.
So I got to imagine that there must be some randomness to it now.
Yeah. Well, now you got me wanting to go back in and check it out. But hopefully, when you talk to that dev, see if you can pin down a multiplayer date, because your co-host Ruuts is getting antsy and needs somebody to carry him through to the second stage. So
well, I'll certainly try again, but I don't think I'll make any headway on that. It's coming. I would imagine it's going to come in the next couple of months. I think October was when he was targeting full release, if I remember correctly. But don't quote me on that. Again, I'm just going off of memory instead of notes here.
Yeah, I agree with Tyler. If you're here watching and you haven't liked the video, definitely throw a like up there, because I do like the PSVR news that Wes is bringing up. So,
well, since everybody's digging this PSVR news, let's move on. Let's move on to PCVR and talk about a new game. A new game called VR Giants. And what VR Giants is, Roots, is a upcoming asymmetrical co-op puzzle platformer built exclusively for VR. So this is one of those games like Carly and the Reaper Man, where you're going to have one player on the couch, one player in VR. And it's interesting, you know, that this is a PC VR title, because we always say it, that these asymmetrical co-op games, these kind of are perfect for console VR, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but like, I don't know, are they going to have a single mode or not for this? That's what I want to know, because that was the biggest thing for the Carly and the Reaper Man, is people liked it, but not everybody has somebody to play with them. Like even Anthony back in the day, he couldn't get his sons to play with him. You know what I mean? Like it's just getting that second person. Otherwise, the game is just sits. So hopefully they'll have a single person mode as well.
Well, Carly and the Reaper Man didn't launch with that. That was something that they added in at a certain point, and maybe they'll do the same here for VR Giants. But I highly doubt that it's going to launch with it because developer Wolfgang, and I'm going to murder his last name as well. I'm not even going to say it. We'll just call him Wolfgang.
Just call him Wolfgang Cho.
Cho. All right. Choco. Wolfgang Shoko has been working on this game solo, Roots, for 3 years. So this is all this one dude's work. And he's already taken it to several festivals over the years and has won awards. But now he wants to complete VR Giants by building a team. The game is, of course, played locally on PC. In VR Giants, the VR player controls the Goliath, who can build bridges with its hands or grab environmental objects to help David, who is the PC player, navigate the levels, protecting him where necessary. As a dwarf, David is highly vulnerable to dangers like fire and spikes, but only he can collect the coins and keys that are required to complete each level. And Goliath can only be summoned to a new area by David. So basically, Roots, this is literally a tale of David and Goliath, only they're friends. And last week, we were questioning whether good Goliath was actually good Goliath. I don't think he was, Roots. I think this is the real good Goliath.
So you can't play as David in VR. You have to be out on the screen. Is that, I'm assuming?
Right. The VR player is the giant Goliath, and David is kind of the player who's doing the platforming.
Yeah, cool. Sounds pretty good. Now, I think it'd be cool if you could play with somebody else, like as far as we said this before, but online, you know, you log in and somebody else can be the giant, or you can be David, or even as a stranger, you work together. But that's probably not going to be the case either.
You know, I didn't think so either because it isn't mentioned in any of the promotional material for the game. But with that said, the developer actually sent me a demo key onto my Lethal Weasel email this week, and he offered to play the game with me online somehow using some kind of software that I wasn't familiar with. So apparently there's a way for it to be done, or otherwise he wouldn't have offered to do that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, why are we talking about this game? Besides the fact that it looks cool, looks pretty fun, we're talking about it because the VR Giants Kickstarter is officially going to launch on the 14th of July, with the current plan is to release the game via Steam in 2021. So 2 more days, Roots. This thing is going up for crowdfunding, and from what I'm understanding, he wants to put together a team to enhance the game. It's already quite playable and is a fun game, but he wants to polish it up. He wants the visuals to look better. He wants the game to sound better. He wants to make it look more like a current gen VR game.
Yeah, cool. I'm behind it. And do you know does he have tiers or anything, or any information on the Kickstarter or whatever?
I do not know exactly what any of the tiers are going to be, but I have linked the Kickstarter down below in the description. So those of you who are interested in this game and interested in supporting Wolfgang's Kickstarter, you can do so just by clicking the link in the description.
Cool. Looks fun.
Yeah, and if the looks aren't enough, when the Kickstarter campaign launches in a couple of days, everyone is going to be able to download a free-to-play demo, which features a full single level, which is about 10 minutes of gameplay.
Cool.
Yeah, so this was one that I was thinking about putting in the free stuff and killer deals because, the demo is coming out in a couple of days and everyone's going to be able to play for free. But I thought we'd take a closer look at it because I like to highlight these games that come into Kickstarter. I've said it many times. It's these independent developers who supported VR through the slow days, through the VR is dead days. It was these indie guys that gave us games to play. So I think it's only fair that VR now return the favor and help support the independent developers.
Yeah, I think it's very true. Very true. Very good.
Anyway, that is VR Giants. Again, Roots, this thing has won multiple awards. It's been featured in many magazines and publications as well, including Wired. It was named one of the top 10 VR games in Gamescom last year. So a lot of accolades following this game. Definitely worth you guys' attention. So check it out.
How classic is it that how old this footage is of these people playing it? One, because they're still doing demos. That doesn't exist anymore. And they're using Vives with Vive wands. That doesn't exist anymore. Like, I mean, it does exist, but I'm pretty sure most people have gotten index controllers if they have Vives. And most people aren't buying Vives anymore. At least not that version. So I think it's interesting to me to go back in time and see how all these people were fooled into thinking that was a good headset. I guess it was a good headset. Mamefan will say it was the best. So
yeah, it was at the time. Yeah, this is a common thing that we see with independent developers. You know, obviously it takes them a little longer to get their games to market because there's generally small teams that are working on it. So that means that most of the games that are coming out even today have been in development for years. And what was the best headset 3 years ago? It was HTC Vive.
Yep.
So it's a common thing actually, as these independent games get released, to see them feature Vive and recommend it as the hardware that the game was primarily developed for.
Yeah. Room scale, brah. I agree, Greg. Room scale.
Yeah. Room scale. Anyway, VR Giants, Kickstarter in 2 days. Link is in the description. Check it out. And that is going to bring us to another title, Roots, that I was thinking about bringing up in the free stuff and killer deals section, because it recently received a pricing change, and that is the Under Presents. You know, the Under Presents now is free to download and install, and people can enjoy the introductory part of the game for free, which is about 45 minutes of gameplay. And then if they want to, they can pay $12 to buy into the Time Boat experience, which is what we used to refer to as, you know, the main game. But now apparently is just one of many different pieces of content that are going to be provided from the overall larger experience.
Man, it sounds so bizarre to me, you know, just the whole way that whole thing just came unraveled, you know, that they're changing. I mean, I guess it makes sense because, you know, because I was looking at some of the other news you're going to be discussing, and I was thinking, there's no way, dude, I'm not going to buy this game and then get a ticket to this thing. And no, man, if it's free, yeah, I could see, you know, you're already in there and you want to invest $12 to get the time thing, or you want to do that, whatever, you know, it's just weird to me. It's different.
It is different, and I think that that's one of the things that we've celebrated the most about this title. We tend to praise things for being unique and different, and I have experienced very many pieces of software in VR that are quite as unique as the Under Presents. Is it a game? Is it an experience? Is it a platform for performing arts? I think the answer, Roots, is yes to all of that.
Yeah, it's everything. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, and it sounds like they're doubling down on the acting. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they absolutely are, because just this past week we learned that the Under Presents is hosting a limited time immersive theater show to Oculus Quest and Rift owning audiences that takes William Shakespeare's play The Tempest and puts you into the story like never before. You pay $15 for a ticket, show up at the cinema lobby at your appointed time, and begin the show with an assortment of 6 to 8 other participants. Once the show begins, you're transported to a campfire where you will meet a live actor who was due to play Prospero in a proper stage show, before the lockdown put an end to live performances. So in the show, you run through interesting, dreamlike set pieces and are made to act out parts in the story, all of which are voiced over by your guide. And to make things even more immersive, costume accessories are summoned to your expressionless avatar. So you aren't merely a witness to this performance of Shakespeare's Tempest. You're a participant, Roots. You're taking place in the play yourself, being guided and even voiced over by the actor that's in there with you. And if you remember, you can't. Your mic doesn't work in this game. You can't talk in it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It must be pretty good because, I mean, it's not something that they're adding in for free. You actually have to buy a ticket for this thing.
Yeah, well, it said it started three days ago, right? So there should be people talking about it, saying what, if it's cool or not.
I'm sure it's out there. I just haven't read any of the reviews for it yet.
Yeah, me neither. But it looks cool. It's definitely a fun game, something more to try out. When are you getting your ticket? Tonight?
I don't know, man. It's one of those things that I would consider it if I had like another headset. Like if I still have my Rift S and I could put wife in one and go in the other. This seems like an interesting date night thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. Actually, you could do it in a couple months with the G2.
Yeah. If I get my G2 by then, the shows run from July 9th through the end of September. So it's a possibility that right at the very end I'll get my my headset and we'll be able to check it out. But we've done entire episodes before talking about how you can spend time with your friends and loved ones inside of VR. I mean, and this is certainly a unique way, right? That you could take someone and go on a date or just go hang out with a friend. Maybe you're tired of catching 3D movies in big screen and want to go do something else. Well, you can go to the theater. We just went to the museum last week. Now we can go to the theater, and not only can we view this performance, but we can participate as well.
Well, especially if you're into that story, right? If you're like, that's one of your favorite, the Tempest, I think it'd be really cool. And I think you nailed it. There's not many things you can do with a loved one, like your wife or whatever, to where you feel like you're going somewhere. Let's go to a concert. Let's go to a play. You're getting to go to this play in the VR and experience something unique and bizarre. And you can't talk to anybody, but guess who you can talk to? The person that you came with. So you're not, you know what I mean? So it just changes that dynamic. Now, let me ask you this, couple questions. Do you think the 6 to 8 people are going to, are they all actors, or are you going to be put in there with other people also paying for their ticket? Because that to me is interesting as far as is it going to be all actors or not.
I would imagine if they can manage to sell enough tickets, because these performances go from 4 to 8 p.m. on the weekdays and from 11 to 3 on the weekends every hour. So that's a lot of tickets. So I got to imagine as long as they can keep an audience in it, it'll just be other paying customers. But if they can't manage to sell out a certain showing, I got to imagine that some of these live actors are going to bounce in there with you. Or who knows, they may even have recordings of prior people experiencing it that join it with you. Because if you'll remember, one of the things at the beginning during what is now the free content of the game is kind of a time manipulation thing where you see recorded versions of people. I'm trying not to spoil it too much, but one of the early puzzles in the game kind of involved recording someone's actions in the game. So they could take that approach to it as well, right?
Yeah, I agree. And then my second question is, what are your thoughts for September? Do they bring another play? Like, is this, it changes every 2-3 months? I think that's kind of intriguing as well. If they do it right, I wouldn't mind spending $15 every couple months to try out some new experience if it's done well. because I like plays. I love musicals, you know, and I'm a guy. I'm not supposed to admit that, but I do. If it's done well, it's good. So I think this could be really cool.
Yeah, man. I think that it's that we should probably just take a wait and see attitude with that. You know, this whole experience of having live actors in the Under Presents has kind of expanded out of necessity, right? Because of the world around us and the events of the world. So as the world has continued to stay shut down, the involvement of these actors has expanded, and I think it's great. You know, normally these kids would be in some art school or on stage somewhere performing, and now they can't do that anymore. But it isn't stopping them from working, right? They're still working, and I guarantee you that they get a credit for this, and they can use it to join something like you know, some of these acting unions and things that they have. I guarantee that this goes on their resume, working in this game.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's just one of the, I agree with what you were saying is, the event, we'll call it, that can't be named, that's shaped the world to where we're at. This game should have already been done with live, like the live actors were such a short, finite time. And then it was like, oh, we're extending it. And now it's like a staple of it. And I'm glad that the things have gone the way they have in the sense for this game, because I kind of felt like once the live acting disappeared, it was like you're left with part of the game. You know what I mean? So if they live acting ever just kind of suddenly disappears, I don't know much of. I mean, there's still a lot to it, but it's not the same. You know? So
Absolutely, absolutely. And how cool is it that these guys, after spending all of these months supporting this title, they finally have a way to monetize it, right? They're selling tickets now, and I'm sure they're going to get their cut, right?
yeah. Well, and just from that standpoint, I think I will go see this thing at some point. You know, because I do want to, give my money to Tender Claws and see what else they can do in the future and make this a viable project, right? So, and
Yeah,
it's intriguing.
and now that we have the Tempest, we have the Time Ship. I can see this becoming more of a hub for other, you know, experiences to come to, instead of the game being the Under Presents. The Under Presents becomes a platform for all different kinds of media, be it games or theater, or who knows what else they'll come up with next for it, right?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm excited.
Anyway, $15 for tickets, July 9th through the end of September, only on the Oculus platforms. The new production is not available in the Steam version of the Under Presents, and its launch accompanies, again, a shift in pricing for the overall product. So now, again, the introduction is free. And for those of you who haven't tried it out yet, I highly recommend it. It's one of the most unique experiences I've had in VR.
Yeah, I agree. It's very unique. I was gonna say.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our news for the week and bring us into our weekly reminders. And as we do this week and every week, I'm going to ask you all to join me as we support these developers by wishlisting one of these awesome games that we've been talking about today. And a lot of older titles on the game on the list today. Really, I think VR Giants is the only new one we really talked about.
That's the one I was just getting ready to, if it'll pull up, getting ready to put in there, because I do have everything else. There it is.
I don't. Is it on there really?
Yeah, dude, I'm surprised. You know, how often lately do we see that games that should be on there? Like, if you're a developer and a VR show is ready to add your thing to the wish list with everybody, it should be there. You know what I mean? You should have it out there. If the game's out there, it should be out there. At least put a page up. I just think some developers are really lazy and they don't put stuff up when they should. And it's kind of hard to get hyped up about a game that doesn't technically exist on the page. So.
Well, when it comes to these smaller independent games, these guys are generally, I mean, they're game developers. They're not like marketers. They're not they're not really used to marketing games or anything for that matter. So I'm sure things like this don't cross their mind while games are still in development. So I kind of get it with them. I don't get it with some of the larger releases. Obviously, these larger companies know how the game's played, and it's their fault if they don't play it.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of changing as VR progresses to more mainstream. People are taking on that mainstream view and seeing how things, because it's just I've said it before. Marketing for VR sometimes baffles me, the way that some of these companies market their stuff. But that being said, I'm not a marketing genius, so maybe I'm wrong.
So I went in and wishlisted Layers of Fear VR on Oculus Quest because you know me, Roots. I'm all about the horror games, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, again, wishlisting helps these developers out not only by allowing them to gauge your interest in their game, but it also allows the platforms to gauge your interest in their game and promote it as such. So be sure to let us know in the comments down below, what did you wishlist this week?
Yeah.
All right, and that's going to bring us into free stuff and killer deals. A fairly substantial one this week, even if not a whole lot of VR stuff going on in it. But as always, we're going to start off by reminding you what your PlayStation Plus games are for the month of July. And those are NBA 2K20, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Erica. So be sure to pick those up if you haven't already. 3 legit titles celebrating the 10-year anniversary of PlayStation Plus. And Rise of the Tomb Raider, again, does have VR content in it. There is a short 30 to 60 minute VR experience included with the Rise of the Tomb Raider game. So be sure to go in there and check that out if you haven't already. Also, we've got some sales on the PlayStation Store this week, as Paper Beast already getting a substantial price cut. $19 Roots for Paper Beast already.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal actually. And I said it before, I want to see more of that game. I got the demo. The demo was cool, but I don't know the gist of it. I don't know what the hell's going on in this world. And I want to do more than just feed a couple of younglings and turn them into bigger ones. So
right. I keep waiting with bated breath for this game to hit Viveport, but it still hasn't dropped as of yesterday. So I can't wait to give it a look. I really enjoyed the demo. I suggest you go back in and play the demo because there's a little bit more to it that you didn't get to see. The cool stuff, or some of it anyway, you missed out on.
How does that happen? Because you and I were talking about, and we haven't talked about this on the show, but a little bit of my soul died that day that you told me that I missed all the good stuff in the Museum of Other Realities. I walked around, I tried to find stuff. I never found, what was it? You said the VR stuff, or I don't know, all the video stuff. I never found it. And then you laid that chunk of reality on me. Well, dude, that was the best stuff. And I was like, and it was the day after it ended. So like, I can never go back. And yeah, so.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it really sucks that you missed out on all that cool stuff. And you went to the one spot that I really didn't care for.
I didn't care for the whole thing very much because I didn't get to the cool stuff. Like Roots screwed up. So you need to make sure if you guys are out there and you're seeing something like that that's a limited time, message Wes and say, hey, dude, what do I need to see? Because that was my mistake. I didn't find out from Wes. And
in fairness, I did make a video.
Well, that's true. Well, then I need to watch the video and go back in time. So
anyway, yeah, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of this stuff available to us through Viveport and other channels over the next year anyway. So I'll be sure to let you know when these things come up so that you can check them out that way.
Yeah, true.
Other games on sale on the PlayStation Network: Resident Evil 7, $10 Roots. Again, I mean, who doesn't have this game yet?
I don't know. My friend that I sold my PlayStation VR has this game and was pissed at me that I told him to try it because it scared the hell out of him. But for $10, dude, this is the best horror game I've ever played. It's the one game that I felt actually afraid, and Mamefan can be a testament too, because he loved my cursing in my videos. It elicited foul language out of this mouth that I didn't want to come out, because Jack is scary as hell, dude. But yeah, it's definitely worth $10.
Yeah, it's a must own. That still remains as in the #1 spot of my favorite experience I've ever had.
If Jack comes in the Resident Evil 8 somehow, he comes out and starts chasing me, I'm gonna freak out, dude, because he really should be dead by now. It's a whole different game, Jack.
It's possible, because you are reprising the role of Ethan in that game, so you could play through like a nightmare sequence or something.
Oh,
you know,
God.
people, the village that you're in, you know, it's Resident Evil 8 village. The people there are hallucinating. So imagine if Ethan starts to hallucinate and starts seeing Jack everywhere.
Oh God, this is such a good game. $10. Gamer Chick 13, you need to get it. $10. Scare the hell out of yourself. It's definitely scary. And even just the opening scene as you're watching, you know, not the opening scene, but when you're stuck at that table and there are the fams there, and you're like, what is going on? Like, he's cutting his own son's hand off and like doing stuff that I just was not prepared for. So
Gamer Chick, there is a free demo available. I would suggest that you immediately go after this show is over and go download it and check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Sports bar Ruuts, $4. You know, I got a lot of problems with the locomotion system in sports bar. I didn't really care for it. With that said, I had a lot of fun playing pool, shooting some billiards with Scion. It was really well done, the way that they have their pool table set up.
It was really cool. The only problem I had with that particular time in my history was Scion kept trying to get me to play him so that he could beat me, and I didn't want to lose, and so I was like trying to shift him to you. And that was really cool. I like the hockey too, the air hockey. Of course, I like air hockey, so.
Yeah, I like air hockey as well. I like sports bars and pretty much everything that you can do in them. It's just the friggin' movement in that game is so annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
But $4, yeah, man, all day.
No brainer. It's a good place to hang out in VR. That was one of the games we showcased for what to do during the pandemic, right? So.
Absolutely. Meow Meow the Gamer Cat says, scariest thing ever, RE7. Absolutely. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah. Aside from that name, Meow Meow the Gamer Cat is an awesome name. I like it.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Zone of the Enders, the second runner, is $7. Which this is a VR remake of a fairly popular Konami title from way back in the day. They remade the thing in VR, released it for $30. On sale for $7.
I never heard of it, so I didn't even pull the trailer. I'm intrigued. Is it something I should own for $7? I guess I can't because it's on PlayStation VR. So
it's okay. You know, I wasn't a fan of it originally back in the day, but I did play the demo for it. There's a free demo available.
Okay.
And I mean, it's all right. You know, I can see it's one of those games where you know, you have to have a taste for that kind of game. And it really wasn't my kind of game, but I did have fun with it.
Cool.
All right. Moving on from PlayStation to Uplay, because Ubisoft Forward is today. And for those of you who don't know, Ubisoft Forward is Ubisoft's answer to the fact that there's no E3 this year. You know, at E3 every year, all of these AAA development companies show up and they give their presentation, right? They make game announcements, show new trailers, new gameplay. Only that didn't happen this year because all of the conferences got canceled. Well, Ubisoft's event is today. It's taking place in about an hour and 45 minutes from now. And for those of us who log into Uplay and watch their presentation, which, by the way, we don't know. They could make some VR announcements. They may or may not announce a new VR game. They're definitely going to be announcing new games. So it might be worth a watch. But anyway, even if they don't, it might be worth a watch because everyone who signs into Uplay and watches it is going to get a free copy of Watch Dogs 2.
Nice. I've actually kind of been curious about that game now. Do I have to do anything? I know you said something about registering last time. I don't have to register. I just have to show up and log in.
You have to register for Uplay is what
well, I've got Uplay. I just checked to see if I got the app. I might just do that and get Watchdog 2s for free. Watchdog
Might
2.
as well. And you never know. They may announce one of these Oculus titles that they've been rumored to be developing for the last year. So who knows, right? I mean, I would think that they would probably save that announcement for Oculus to make during OC7 this year. But who knows? They may have been planning on announcing it during E3, and they may want to release it before then. So,
see, that's where I have my conundrum, Wes, with the show. Like, if they're going to announce some breaking VR news, I get my VR news from Virtual Strangers. I get it from you. I don't want to get it from some second-ass lazy source. I want it from this one. But yeah, so that sounds interesting, though. I agree with you. I don't think they'll be announcing it till OC6 or is it 6 or 7? I don't remember. But
one thing that we do know that they're going to be announcing because it's leaked this week is Far Cry 6. And man, Far Cry 6 looks awesome. They've brought in Giancarlo Esposito as the main villain in the game. And for those of you who don't know who that is the actor that played the role of Gus Fring on Breaking Bad. So a perfect guy for the role that they're going. It's obviously set in a South American country, and it looks absolutely awesome.
Now, I think that's awesome because he was a good actor. Now, is there any part of you, for some reason, I could have sworn you were going to say it was played by Gus Witherspoon, but I think that actor's dead, or he's really old. I don't know. I don't know if you ever watched that show back in the day. I don't even remember what the name of that show was back in the day, but yeah.
No idea.
Somebody knows. Somebody knows Gus Witherspoon.
Yeah. So. Leave a comment down below if you know Gus Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Anyway, not only can you get free Watch Dogs 2 this week, there's also a 20% off coupon code floating around. So you can buy any of Ubisoft's many VR titles with a pretty significant discount.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. My favorite, I think, is Bridge Crew, which isn't even that much. Or 20% off. Right?
My favorite is Transference.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to mention that they're offering a free 1-week trial of Uplay Plus, which has a library of over 100 games that you have access to when you subscribe. And I didn't check all of them, but I can say with certainty that Transference is one of the titles that is available on Uplay Plus. So you could literally get this free 1-week trial. And Transference is only 2 to 3 hours long, so you could play through it, cancel your subscription, and play one of the best games in VR, absolutely free of charge.
Yeah. Plus, who knows what else you'll be playing? That's cool.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So we move on to the Epic Games Store. This week they are giving away 4 games: Killing Floor 2, Lifeless Planet, The Escapist 2, and Trackmania. And Trackmania is not only free on Epic Game Store right now, it's also free on the Uplay. And don't get it twisted. This is not Trackmania Turbo that has the VR support. This is the original Trackmania.
Oh, so I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. But a pretty good haul from Epic Games this week. Killing Floor 2. I mean, that one alone, that's pretty sweet pickup.
I was excited about the VR support that I don't get now. Oh,
right. Well, it's like saying that Killing Floor 2. You thought that was going to be Killing Floor Incursion.
Well, I knew that wasn't it. So there is a part of me. Phil Yarn has really risen some curiosity in me on Trackmania Turbo, this one that isn't the one that's actually on there. because he swears up and down how awesome it is, and it's only like a small chunk of the game. And I value his opinion, so I am going to check out that one at some point.
Yeah, I've got it in my PSVR library. They gave it away with the PlayStation Plus forever ago.
Okay, and you haven't tried it?
No, I have not tried it.
Mm.
I think that's correct. I may be confusing it with something else, but I'm pretty sure I have that one in my library.
Grip is the best.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, dude, because I forgot to put it in my notes here. For those of you who are members of Amazon Prime, of course, if you're a gamer and you're a member of Amazon Prime, you know that you can parlay your Amazon Prime membership into a Twitch Prime membership. And Twitch Prime gives away free games every month. I never mention them during this segment because they're always fairly dated flat games that they have on there. But this month, they're giving away Grip.
Really?
Grip is absolutely free on Twitch Prime right now.
Wow. I'll tell you what, I've got one game on Twitch Prime, and it is Overload. And it was one time it was free, and I thought, oh, and it's a pretty good game for VR. So that's what a great way to be able to play for free.
Absolutely. Free stuff's free. And when you talk about something like Grip, you're talking about getting one of the best games in VR for free.
Yeah. And you can find some hot Twitch chick to give your free Twitch Prime to. I don't know. I wouldn't, but.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to do that. You know, I used to give it to Helix VR because if you subscribe to their thing, then they let you promote your stuff through their Discord.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've just, it's been like 2 or 3 months at least since I've remembered to actually do that.
Mine is subscribed to Sips from the Yogscast. I don't know if you know who he is or not, but he's pretty good, and he's playing through LA Noire right now.
Ray Pope says he used to say "kiss my ass" a lot in that episode, and then Jerry took his record collection, and when he tried to be kind of a carer. Okay. Anyway, that's going to bring us to Viveport Infinity. I did my weekly Viveport check, mainly to see if Paper Beast was unlocked yet, and it wasn't. But you know what was, Roots? Down the rabbit hole. Absolutely included now with Viveport Infinity. And when you talk about playing a game like this for free, I'd say that you should do it. You should do it today.
Yeah, this is definitely. I mean, there's nothing better than this game, full price, than free. Being able to play, I thought it was amazing. Well, we got it for free too, so I guess I can directly tell you it's amazing free game. But even paying for it would be a good game, and it's very unique, different, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So
yeah, it was fun. It was fun just to be in Wonderland, right? Everything's so weird. Up is down, left is right. You know, cats and dogs living together in perfect harmony.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mass hysteria. Anyway, that's going to wrap up free stuff and killer deals and bring us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support our channel. And of course, if you're new to the channel, we would very much appreciate it if you would please consider subscribing, as well as clicking that notification bell to keep up with our content, all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. For those of you who have been longtime subscribers and would like to do a little something more, of course, you know you can support us on Patreon. And for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access not only to my weekly show notes ahead of time. You know, you get the show notes before the show goes on there. But you also gain access to the Money Show, which is getting better every time we do it. And I thought the Money Show was really cool this week, Roots.
Oh, yeah, I did too. And it was fun to play, or film, I guess, and play at the same time. Radio Runt liked it. If we get him to like it, then it's good. But yeah, no, it was the Patreon. It helps us if you don't want a Patreon. I think that the Money Shows eventually will spill over into the regular channel, like you were saying, but time will tell. And let us know if that is something you're interested in. If you want to see the money show, but you're not a Patreon, is that something you would like us to have come to the channel? So,
and again, the concept here is that we talk about the topics of the day, like we do on this show, but we don't do it in front of a camera. Instead, we do it in game. So we'll play some co-op game together, and as we're in these hectic, Fast and Furious gunfights, we calmly have a conversation about some topic that's pertinent to VR gaming at that time.
yeah.
Anyway, so you can subscribe, you can support us on Patreon, you can also join our Discord. Maybe you can't get enough of the Virtual Strangers. Maybe you want to join the conversation. Well, you can do so by scrolling down to the description, and there you will find an invitation to join the best community in VR. Join the community, join the conversation. And am I leaving anything out, Roots, or did I get it all in there?
I think that's everything. Yeah, except for from Ruuts and I'm Wes, but that's coming in a second. That's my favorite part because I like to do the thumb there.
Yeah, Bitey says Archangel Hellfire was amazing. Too bad it didn't stick. And then a couple of people are saying Skydance. Yeah, I don't know if that was the question, but Skydance absolutely was the developer behind Archangel. And funny story, Archangel is one of the first titles I owned for PlayStation VR years ago. And the reason why I picked up Archangel was because way back then I heard a rumor that Skydance was working on a Walking Dead game. And I wanted to find out just how talented these developers were that were working on The Walking Dead.
Wow. Well, you found out. It's an amazing game. And it was GamerChick13 that's saying that she worked on Treyarch, Arc-Angel. That's why it was all being brought up. So it's kind of
awesome.
Cool.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I had no idea that she was working within the industry like that. That's awesome. Anyway, with that said, friends, I guess that's going to wrap up our show, and we would like to thank you once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends.